Hi guys, this is just a quick overview of the material movements panel in data acquisition. The main utility of this is basically that you get an overview of all of the information that you would catch in Event Editor or in a report just without even leaving data acquisition. So you can see all of the movements that have taken place in the operation for the current shift. So I've made some movements here in my shift, and I have my my material movements panel set up in a way that I really like, which is my allocated location and my destination next to each other, followed by the loader that triggered the movement and the truck that was associated with it next to each other. You can actually change these around as you please, but that's just the format that I enjoy the most. I like being able to see location and destination in that format. You also have other grouping options that you can apply to make finding the movements that you're interested in a little easier. For example, if you were only looking for, say, a particular type of material and you had dozens or hundreds of movements so far throughout the shift, you could throw material up here and get a nice grouping. So now we're filtering by material high grade. We can see all of my movements that satisfy that criteria, and then we can even sort by alphabetical order on the location or the number of tonnage, alphabetical on the source, etc. You can sort and filter in basically any way you want to with the attributes that you have here. So I'll put material back down here, and now I'll look at filtering via source location. So these are all of the movements that have come out of source STK1. Hit that drop down, we can see we've got 2. That's the gist of how it works. We have the configuration options as well. So you could potentially set this up for different mine regions or for different levels. Maybe you have an underground material movements panel and a surface material movements panel. That's all configurable through this panel properties window. So you can select the location group. So right now I'm looking at underground loading. If I was wanting to do, a surface movements panel, I would change this to surface loading and so on. We'll have the destinations. I have this set to all, but again, if you were looking at, maybe you only wanted to see ROM movements, you would set destination ROM in this dropdown, or select the ROM location from the individual list, like that. I'm going to leave this on all for the time being. You have equipment, same concept applies. Because I'm looking at my underground movements, I have this set to underground equipment, go all equipment, or we could go, surface loaders, something along those lines. It just depends on what you actually want to see in this panel. And it's good to have a couple of them set up if you are operating across maybe 3-4 different mine regions that you want to track separately, and then potentially underground, surface, map it all out individually so it's not an overwhelming amount of data to look through. You select your measure. This is tons, but you could potentially set this to like loader buckets or truck dumps, something along those lines. And then you just have a grouping summary option where you can summarize or not summarize all of the data into little groups. That's the gist of it. You can change the font as well if you so choose. Thanks for listening.